DimHop, life, and YouTube, according to a few frameworks, first of all is going to be a Petersonian perspective on the topic of the big five personality scales, IQ, the internet, real life, and then health, wealth, love, and happiness, and applying each of those to each of them. And I will be going through health problems, money problems, political problems, religious problems, existential problems, philosophical and psychological ones, problems in relationships, problems with being human, problems with the earth, problems with scale and locality and degree of competence, intelligence, helplessness, artificial intelligence, bioweapon technology, or just biotechnology, bioweapons, things that are unethical, storylines versus reality, reality as a story, creativity, Christopher Langan, Jordan Peterson, Terrence McKenna, Joe Rogan, YouTube, screenshots I have, the internet, Google Chrome bookmarks, YouTube as a whole being deplatformed, Reddit being hacked, social media being liked or disliked, trying really hard in general and not getting anywhere, period, the rat race, the current state of socio-political romantic affairs between men and women, liberals versus conservatives, Christians versus Islamic people, resource inequity, resource unavailability, imbalance, medical conditions, the healthcare system in America, sobriety or the lack of it, the inability to maintain such things, unpopularity, necessity for popularity as a means of obtaining money in a desirable fashion these days, the need to create as a YouTube creator, as a 9-to-5 job, working memory, again, IQ, brain health, brain damage, which is irreversible, spinal damage, which is irreversible, dying at a young age due to heart conditions, dying of heart conditions, period, aging, the inability to help oneself despite one's best efforts, the inequality in the IQ landscape to where people who have a low one can't do anything about it, people with ADHD not being able to help themselves, people with chronic pain not being able to do what they need to do, normal basic people being overwhelmed, and then considering that no one is truly normal, everyone is disadvantaged in some way, the fact that no one who tries their hardest gets where they want to go, the Pareto distribution, the unlikelihood of success in a creative endeavor, the fundamental undesirability of any other mode of action, the varying landscapes of potential experiences framed through different lenses of people's perspective and frameworks. Hi, I'm yapping. What's going on? Essentially, vulnerability and the need for insurance against vulnerability, the fact that no one can afford healthcare insurance in America, and that America doesn't even provide enough healthcare to make it be worth warranting having it in the first place, and you're just screwed even if you go out of your way to not be screwed. So it's unfairness and oppression through money. Now, it's not a system of oppression just because you're bad at it. That's a very brutal perspective and take. People will never get along because of their political views. Political views actually divide us. We have more in common than we don't. but the fundamental difference between people is their intelligence, their personality, and then their background. So like, what were you given? Like, are you do you have good looks? Are you charismatic? Are you naturally tall? Are you muscular if you're a guy? I guess if you're a girl, that would be a question too for you. Like, can you change these things? How hard do you have to work to change these things? How much time do you have? What's your time budget? Like, how much time do you actually have in life before you're done for? That's why people don't want to work the 9 to 5, because it sucks. And you're not doing anything fun, and you're spending all your time doing something hard that you could be spending your energy on that you would otherwise not be doing. And if you don't do that, the world collapses and ceases to work. But you're only one person among those 330 million. And what are you really supposed to do? Now, if all 330 million were cooperating in the perfect way, but things aren't perfect, how good would things actually be? Well, we'll never know, because it's really hard to take personal responsibility and no one looks out for each other. And we're all fundamentally alone inside our own heads. And no one truly understands us, and the world doesn't care, and it doesn't forgive or take away any of the brutality upon you just because you lay yourself out before it pleading for mercy. And there's a serious problem with that. You're not really supposed to just slave away so you can barely do things that you enjoy, as if only enjoying things is all that matters in life. But you can't even do that because you're too busy working just to survive. You can't put yourself on like an IV drip of fluids to like nourish yourself and stay awake and alive and well fed all the time. That would be expensive and hard and dangerous, but it's expensive, hard, and dangerous to live. So wouldn't you be better off just having like all your nutrients that you could ever possibly... Oh, I'll hit the gritty for you. A little gritty. A little existential gritty for the boys. So we're basically screwed. And there are a couple different perspectives you can take. You can be all creative and artistic and like a furry about things, where you are an emo kid, or like you just want to be like unique and you want to do interesting, colorful experiences. Thank you, bro. I appreciate you. I'm appreciated being called awesome. I don't know if I actually am awesome, but to be revealed. Then you could just be down to earth and focused on basic shit. And from that perspective, you're in the most trouble. Now, you may want to do things about this to fix it. And you may feel guilty if you don't. That's a certain kind of person. Then there's the person who likes being unemployed. Yeah, boy. Not really. I mean, I like to do things, but I don't like to do things that I'm forced to do. And who really does? Who wants to have ADHD and be forced to sit in a classroom all day? No one with ADHD ever said that. So unless they're actually genuinely interested in things. And who doesn't have money or health care or a high IQ or is tall or muscular or good looking, whoever said that they wanted to not have the thing that they think they're not and that they think would be better if they had it? Nobody, fundamentally, by definition. Who that wants to be a writer, isn't a good writer, can't do it, and is happy about that. Now, there are many things like this where we're deprived. We're fundamentally deprived of things. An extrovert will be fundamentally deprived of social interaction. An introvert will be deprived of time to themselves. That is really ya boy. That is really me. Literally me out here. Now, someone who isn't funny like me. Okay, enough of that. Basically, people who care and love about people want everyone they love to be okay and it'll all be happy all the time. Then it gets all ripped away from them. Try having a dog or a puppy and you raise it and it dies. That's a nightmare and cruel and punishing and unfair. Now, if you want to do the opposite of that, you want to beat everybody. You don't ever want anyone to get one over on you and make you a sucker. That's really hard because now you're competing with everybody and you're especially competing with the most competitive people. And the most competitive people are going to have an edge because they're going to try harder and they're going to care less about you and more about themselves. So that sucks as well. Now, you could also care about what you're doing to the point that if you were unable to do it anymore or something threatened you or you're not able to, not able to stop doing it, or you wanted to do it and were forced to stop doing it, that would be an existential nightmare for you, and you would live every day of your life in anxiety, depression, and pain. Both physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual pain. Now, I highly disapprove of that. And if you're just calm all the time, well, you really shouldn't be, because you're not going to be prepared, and something's going to come along and wallop you. And it's a question of whether you're scared to get hurt, and then you get hurt and it really does suck, and you weren't able to save yourself, or if you're like, everything's fine, and then you get slammed. Like, no one really knows which one is worse, even the people who are each way. Now, people can never agree on these things. People can never fit in. Society forces you to not do certain things, which is good for, like, the murderers. But it doesn't stop the murderers from murdering those of us who aren't murderers, so that's not very helpful. Not having money sucks. Having money and forced to work to get money, that also is terrible. So I don't know what you're really supposed to do. Being sober is terrible. Always having to chase after a high, that's also awful. Now, it's nice to be high, and it's nice to be sober, but you don't really ever get to fully enjoy one. You're in one state or the other. You're either full or you're hungry. And you're either satisfied, according to those 5 fundamental dimensions I mentioned earlier. If you're creative, you have to create, but it hurts to create, it's hard to create, and it's likely to be unprofitable and a waste of your time. So that's not fair, and that sucks. Now, if you want to be working and doing correct things all the time, I'm taking an herbal remedy, guys. I'm a hippie. Ooh, it kind of tastes good. It smells good. It's not weed, though. Sad face. I actually hit that. I actually hit the drunkard. I need a tear in the mirror bars. Essentially, if you have a mental illness and you don't want to be medicated for it, and the medications have shitty side effects, but the other alternative is being mentally ill in a society that encourages that and makes it worse, then where are you left? Again, fundamentally deprived of your needs, and some might even argue your human rights. If you've ever been to a psychiatric hospital, I have seen people in them in a much worse state of mind than I was. And I really felt bad for those people, and some of them had been held there for 40 days and were not going home and had nowhere to go. What the fuck? If I wasn't there, I wouldn't have known about those people. Who is there who actually cares about that person if they're being forced to stay there 40 days? It's loud in there. It's awful. It's annoying. It sucks. And you have to get on medication, and like, some laws are stupid, and the cops will send the same amount of cops after you for having a hippie drug in your back pocket, or giving it to someone else, even giving it, not even selling it, which is, why is that more of a problem? Especially if it's harmless, and the government has banned it, so therefore you can't obtain it through natural legal means. That's not too cool. As if you murdered somebody. So you'll get the same amount of cops on you for having a harmless illegal substance, because it's a stupid law, as you would someone who, like, kills someone and has cops come after them, and that's a reasonable law, because, like, who wants to get killed? We should probably discourage that. Also, if I got banned off YouTube for saying that word, that would piss me off. And who says I have the backup of all my videos? Who said I didn't need my videos? Who said they weren't important and cherished to me in my little heart, and that they weren't actually valuable to me on a level that couldn't be replaced, because the value was in the video, and therefore, by losing the video, I've lost all the value. Nightmare. Losing your dog, losing your mother, losing your sister, your father, your child, God forbid. Is there a God? Which God? Are we going to kill each other over which God it is? Are we going to fight each other in a civil war over politics, or just come to terms with the fact and accept that everyone will be arguing all the time and will be in a bureaucracy and nothing will ever actually happen or change or get done? Which one are you willing to accept? Which one sounds like a good option to you? Which one sounds like the lesser of two evils to you, when we can conceive in our brains of a perfect world, but we can never seem to actualize or create it? Even if we try our hardest and actually cohere with reality and aren't in off in Delulu land, we still can't do it. That's wrong. And so the people who want to be productive and who are not creative and are okay with just dealing with normal, basic, boring, down to life, easy things, which I can't relate to with ADHD. I have to do something interesting or I want to pull my skin off. Almost literally, man. They will never, ever get down their to-do list, if it's an even worthy to-do list to get going on. So like if your to-do list is any good, it's going to be a big one with quality items on there that are hard to do, because generally the things that are good have those prerequisite qualities to them. So good luck with that. And you might need to do them, and they might make your life better, and you might suffer a lot if you can't do them, and they might be hard, and it might force you to do things that your IQ isn't cut out for you to do, and you may be more stress prone or stress ridden than other people. I mean, if you're stress ridden enough, it doesn't matter how stress sensitive you are, you're still suffering. And I don't like it. I don't approve of it at all, man. Every single scenario is a damned if you do, damned if you don't, because we all have a Maslow's hierarchy of needs, which I'm going to pull up right now. And there are some on here that are absolute non-negotiables, and it doesn't care if you're, society doesn't care if you're in a communist organization and of society that gives you everything you want and need. It's still, people starve in that environment. Historically, it's been bad. So Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And also, even if I say all these things to you guys, who says how much you're going to listen? Who says how much that's even going to help you? Because all I'm doing is listing a bunch of problems for myself later, and YouTube could strike this down, or someone could hack me and be like, fuck you, for no reason. The likelihood of these things excludes the possibility of their actualization and being dangerous. But here's something. You need air. Well, what if you have asthma? What if you can't afford your medication? Well, get fucked. Evidently. Water. Who said it's clean? Who said it's free? Food. That's expensive in America. Shelter. Anyone going out there helping the homeless people with that? Some, but not enough. And it would take a lot of us to do it because we're very inefficient at solving problems, so they're screwed. Sleep. What if you have insomnia? I do. I can tell you that it is literally illegal, according to the UN's Human Rights Council, to torture someone with sleep deprivation. You can't even do that to like a communist spy because it's so cruel and so wrong. You can maybe cut them, you can maybe electrocute them, you can maybe burn them. You can't sleep deprive them. And they probably do anyway, which is another problem. So, rules for you, but not for me. High-level deep state government officials can torture people, but you can't buy some shrooms. And you can't afford McDonald's. Even though it's the only thing and it's the cheapest thing out there and it's easy and convenient and it fits into your schedule and you're getting ripped off because you need it and you're in a vulnerable state and capitalism capitalizes on you, literally, and says, nah, actually give me your money. So what do you do with that? Capitalism is better than communism. Communism is really bad, though, so that's not saying a lot. Clothing. Okay, fair enough. Mostly accessible, but I'm saying that as a person with a bias who knows about clothing. And reproduction, I don't know that that's a physiological need that you're going to die without, but technically the human race would die without it. So there's apparently like an intimate crisis where people aren't like doing the dirty too much and they're not actually like dating either. So like we're kind of going extinct slowly. Japan has like a massive drop off in birth rates, which is concerning. And we have no idea what to do about it, and we probably won't do anything about it, and we'll probably suck at doing anything about it. And it'll be too late before anything happens, and we'll never really know the true root cause, because humanity, even collectively with the smartest of our smartest minds, can't figure out how to solve this, because if it was, and we were any good at it, and we were any good, period, we would have already done it. So now everyone's suffering. Again, on top of the basic suffering, because you're suffering according to these necessary rules of reality, which you can't see because they're mirrored. Then you're suffering knowing that things could hypothetically be better, but they're not, and you have no way of getting there. And definitionally, things are not going to get any better because we are stuck in the environment we're in, which means if we could make it better, and we would, that we haven't or can't. And you got to list every single problem in the world, which would take each person probably at least 5,000 minutes to thoroughly list all the problems in their life. And there's 8 billion of us, so just do the math on that one. And that's just the people. And that's just the people who we can reach and who will talk about it and who are being honest with themselves and are like suffering to varying degrees based on all kinds of factors. Personal security. No one's actually personally secure because you could always die of a heart attack at any moment. There you go. Lights out. Bye bye. Your life's done and over with, even though you might have liked it and you might have been like going through a big like recharge arc and you were coming out of your depression. Nope. Nope. You get to die. That's nice. Employment. Well, not for the person who dies of a cardiac arrest, because it's like 5 seconds and then you're out. And so it is kind of merciful. Employment. Most people are, I would say, unhappily employed, or they'd rather be doing something else, or they'd rather not have to work. Or there is the issue of like, if they weren't working, they'd have no purpose, and then they're lost. And so if you want to work and can't, because you can't find employment, that sucks for you. And you also don't have money. And you also have to work in order to have money, and you have to have money in society. And if you don't want to work, and it's hard for you to work, and things suck, then you really are shit out of luck. Resources. I don't even know how you define that. Health, not guaranteed. Needed, though. Non-negotiable. Life without your health sucks, but no one's going to give it to you. And if you don't have it, then it's really hard for you to get more of it. It's like starving in the jungle to the point where you can't go and get any more food because you're starving. And that's cruel and wrong, but logical and makes sense and obvious if you think about it, but no one can actually do anything about it. Hardly anyone can actually do it for themselves. And if they do, it takes a long time. Think, for instance, it takes a doctor 12 years to get their medical degree. And then how many people can they help a day? And how thoroughly can they help them? And how long can they see them out of the actual time that they need to be spending managing their health, or the time that they are spending sick? And it's 12 years, and not that many people become doctors. And how many of them are actually any good at it? And how many of them are going to be there for long because they're stressed out? Property. Not everyone gets property, dude. So just forget about that one. Friendship. Maybe if you're lucky. Shout out to my friends, so I'm not a friendless. I said that like a homeless, like a kind of person. Intimacy, that's falling off these days. I know the statistics and the kind of general theme and like overall mood and atmosphere. It's not very good. Like, I talk to some girls, but I have no shot. So like, at least I'm talking to women, but like, then you're just sad because you're talking to women and you can't like cuddle a girl, for instance. Not that that is something that crosses my mind or bothers me that much. Family. Family can suck. Or it can be really good, but it's hard. And they're not you, but you really rely on them. Or they rely on you. So you're either getting drained, or you're trying to help, or they're trying to help, but like, you're all like... Most people who get killed, statistically, Jordan Peterson taught me this, if you're drunk, you murder the most. If you're drunk, you're most likely to get murdered. You're most likely to get murdered by a family member. So his dark joke was, if you want to die, go drink with your family. Respect. And now, by the way, everything I've listed, those are the 3 bottom ones. Okay, life is hard without these. And these things make life hard as well. A lot of this is circular thinking, but I'm just engaging with reality and circuitously circuiting it through my mind back to you. So I am a representation of the universe talking to you about how it works. So that's not grandiose. It sounds a little grandiose, but it's really not. You're equally that way. So then you're grandiose too, and then we can all be grandiose together equally. So respect, self-esteem, status, recognition, strength, freedom. Kind of forget about all those because they're not your priority. Love and belonging, safety needs, and at the very non-negotiable bottom are physiological needs. If you're always chasing your physiological needs, your life kind of is boring, but at least it's continuing. And the more you have the ones on the top, the more you can actually fulfill the ones on the bottom, which you need. But you have to get there, and then your whole pyramid can come crumbling down every now and then. And that sucks. And it can happen for reasons that you don't understand, that you didn't see coming, that you hoped wouldn't happen, that were bound to happen, or that are just awful. Now, esteem. I don't know. Maybe I haven't quite gotten up there yet. I mean, I have it, but like, then I'm always worried about not having the bottom ones. Which again are love and belonging, safety needs, and physiological needs in order of height downwards. So never mind. It's physiological needs, safety needs, love and belonging. Then esteem. Then self-actualization. The desire to become most that one can be. That's heartening. That kind of makes your life into a cool story, but it doesn't mean that any of these other things can't be ripped out from under you at any time while you're trying to self-actualize, which is the most amazing process and the hardest to get to and the most rewarding. And you would hope that you would be doing that from the very bottom, that you would be getting healthy air, and you would be getting clean water, and you would be getting the most nutritious food as easily as you could all the time and not really need to worry about it, and it would taste good, and you'd be happy, and you could eat it with your family, and they'd be sleeping fine, and you wouldn't have to worry about managing your sleep schedule. And you would always have clothes, and you'd have cool clothes that everyone complimented you on, and all this other shit. But you don't. Maybe you do. That'd be cool. I'm very happy for you if so, and I hope you can find a way to make it permanent. But a permanent life that is bad isn't really worth living. In fact, it's a prison and you want out of it. I'm not on cocaine. Thank you, though. I said that like you offered me some. Like, I mean, I'm not going to comment on whether I would do it or not. But I did be doing it. So anyway, no, I'm really just engaged in this. I'm like really freaking jacked up because this pisses me off and it's this fundamental existential problem. But yeah, sure, cocaine works. That's fine. Bro is salty. So basically, that concludes my rant. It gets different when people are watching because then you have to elaborate on your points. And then you can't talk about the personal matters because everyone's listening and then you feel weird. And I'd just rather not. I had like 4 cups of coffee though, to be fair. And I'm vaping, so do with that what you will. Drugs? That'd be fun. I bet it would. Probably for everyone here. That's the issue with them, is that they're better than life because they make life better. And then life seems really boring, and then life gets worse. And that's a paradox, and not a Nito Petito kind of paradox, but more so the kind that makes you want to rip your skin off, as I said earlier. So I feel like I've ranted enough. And I'd rather film. Yeah, I got really off topic. I can't film for myself. Maybe I can. The problem with this is that all these problems are here making your life worse. And you have to solve them with the problems that you need to solve, weighing down your ability to solve the problems, because that in itself is a problem. And I feel really bad for people, and you have to come up with the ultimate solution to that, and then everyone's going to criticize it and think they know better, even though they haven't spent as much time on it. And everyone is equally entitled to the ultimate solution. However, no one seems to know what it is, and if they do know what it is, reality, as I've described it, will continually obstruct and obfuscate your attempts to escape towards a better reality. And there's nothing that you can do about that except play by the game of reality if you're already alive. Then you're kind of screwed, and then you have to play the game, and you're, whether you like it or not, all in on it, unless we can cure aging, which we can't because it's complicated and we don't know what's going on, and not everyone will get an equal amount of it, and it would be expensive to fix certain things in the body, and we don't even know if it's safe, and it may make things worse. If you want to do something, people are going to judge you for it. Who really cares what they think, but they are going to be judging you for it. And some of them will be helping you, and then some of them will leave you and betray you, and then some of them will be on your side all the way through thick and thin, and sometimes you'll like want to betray yourself if you get really depressed, and then you won't trust yourself anymore. And if you're trying to do the right thing, you can never finish it. And why start it if you can't finish it? Because if you just started a bunch of things in a day and then gave up on that day and never went back to those things, that's a stupid day. And if you were working on a major project and you can't finish it in time because you die, well, what was the point of working on the project? You should have spent your time that you were going to spend before you were going to die on something good. But no, you have to probably participate in capitalism and politics and lame, stupid shit, or waste your time doom scrolling on social media, or playing video games, or doing things that you otherwise wish that you could have spent on something better, and then you have an existential crisis, and you absolutely melt down and break down in the middle of your bed at 3 a.m. and wonder why no one loves you. Jesus, bro. You can't ever do what you want. You can do a little bit of what you want, but not in the way that would ultimately be best for you and best for what you want. So why do it? And why not do it? Well, just achieve nirvana and no longer have any desire. Okay, well, that's fine, but what are you doing? What are you actually doing, though? If you're not desiring the good things, you're desiring empty things, or you might even be desiring bad things. And there's no way of knowing or distinguishing between the two if you truly have achieved nirvana, where you've forsaken all worldly desires. Because by definition, you would have forsaken your desire to have good desires. I'm kind of stealing this from a preacher. He had an argument from like Christianity over other things, but like, why pick one thing over another when none is clear to be better than the other? And how do you know that? And do you need to know that? Because you would want to know that if there are consequences. If something's at stake, you may be less willing to put down as much money. If you don't think you're going to win in the poker game, and you don't have a lot of money, and you bet a lot on it, and then you lose, you're stupid, and you know you are, and you feel bad, and now you have less money too. So, like, how do you solve reality? That's the ultimate question. Well, you solve reality by doing unrealistic things in reality. And they're unrealistic because they can be cognized of, but they can't be translated down very well. And usually something will fuck with them. And so it is realistic because it is in reality. It is a pattern in your brain that's firing. You're creating something based on what you're thinking. And that is real, especially to you. But can you actually do it? And is there any way to do it other than the way that you thought of? If you thought of it, and it needs to be done, and you need to do it, you can't do it, that's really bad, objectively. And you'll spend your whole life obsessing in search of seeking those answers. And never really enjoying or stopping to pause and consider. And if you do stop and pause to consider, you may get fired. Because you can't just like be at peace and oneness with the universe. And you can't do anything meaningful unless you sacrifice other basic boring things. You have time where you make time. But how much time can you really make for yourself? And how much of it is really yours? How much of it do you need to be yours? How much of it do you want to spend, and like in what areas and on what things? Is that fulfilling you? Is it any good? Are you feeling any good for and about yourself? Because that's the important thing. Like, can you wake up every day and say like, all right, I'm doing the right thing? Or can you at least go, okay, I'm not where I want to be, but like, at least I'm trying. And oftentimes that is robbed from us, and we can trick ourselves and give that up, where we think that we're in a worse place than we actually are. But it could be that we're actually just in a worse place than where we could be or want to be. And we don't know how to get there, and we may mess up and make things worse, or things may just get worse of their own accord, and maybe they won't. That'd be good, that'd be cool. However, we're still left with fundamental problems, even after you solve the most frustrating, complicated, basic problems. So they're basic because they're boring, they're complicated, so they're hard to do. And they're frustrating, which makes you not want to do them, and also not want to not do them because your life sucks without those. Yeah, I'm getting bummed out now. I wonder how many people I bummed out, bro. Hopefully not too many. This took me 30 minutes. Oh, what's up, watcher? I ranted for like 30 minutes, so what I'm trying to say is life is hopeless, and we should all not give up, because that'll just make it more hopeless. But fuck, life is hopeless. What do we do about it? Something really hard and complicated and grandiose. And then fail and get criticized for it and probably die anyway, but at least we tried. Yeah, I haven't seen you in a minute, watcher. How you doing? I'm out of breath because I was talking up a storm, bro. I think some of the things I wanted to say will need to be said in another thing, but I guess I could say them now. If I wanted to be creative, no. If my audience was creative, they want to see cool things and they want to get immersed in it. If not, they just want to like have a show to watch or like a thing to watch, and they want it to be practical and help them and just be meaningful and engage their time in some way. If they want to work hard on something, they're probably working on something else more important, and they won't be watching me. If I offer things that are valuable and helpful, then it'll be a very small yield, but at least it'll help somebody. If they don't care, they're probably just going to binge my videos. So that's the opposite of wanting to do productive things. I hope most of my people who watch me are unproductive and like getting immersed in things, because that would be good for them as the audience, and it would be good for me because then I'd have an audience, and they'd be the audience that I want, instead of like a bunch of people who don't care about what they're watching. Because like, why would you want your viewers to not care about what they're watching, and they're watching it and they're miserable, and you're like, well, what is everybody doing here? For the extroverts, they'll probably have a lot of positive emotions. So if you're extroverted and you're creative, they're going to love it and they're going to get really into it. But they're going to be busy doing other things, like too many other things, and they're never going to like really sit down and just truly immerse themselves. And most people don't have the opportunity to. If they're an introvert, they're probably going to, and they're creative, they're going to be like really immersed. Like they're going to fully roll into the series if they can. And maybe take some inspiration from it. That'd be neat if their conscientiousness is higher. As for agreeable people, they're going to... Oh, and the extroverts will probably think the show is funny. And the introverts will probably be invested in it for the story and the escapism. Anyone who's agreeable and anyone who's disagreeable, they're going to want to see fucking vicious fight scenes, and the disagreeable people will love that, especially the extroverted ones, but they probably won't be that interested or maintain their attention for that long. Anyone who's agreeable is going to be really sad watching the show, but they might have like, oh, moments, and then everything horrible is going to happen to everybody, and they're going to be like, what the fuck? And then they'll feel more righteously invested and vindicated when the protagonist wins over the evil guys in a brutal way, because it's like, he killed the dogs, fuck him. And anyone who's really neurotic is going to be comforted by knowing that the show is like them and they're like fucked up, and the show is fucked up, and they'll be like, oh, someone understands me and how brutal the world is. Like horror movie enjoyers, average horror enjoyer. Anyone who's calm is going to be like, whoa, how does someone have such negative, dark, scary, horrifying, awful thoughts? And there's all kinds of variations along those things. Intelligent people are going to analyze and break it down. They may find it boring. Intelligent, disagreeable people will like criticize me for being bad at it, and I'll try to beat them and be like, no, I'll show you. My main target audience, I think, I want to have it appeal to everybody. But I think I want creative, moderately conscientious, introverted, disagreeable, neurotic people. Yeah. I love that comment, bro. Bro's dance moves helped him escape the Matrix. Yeah, dude. I mean, buddy, my good friend, I am probably still stuck in here, but I have ascended to another mental plane some time ago. And on occasion, it's like an on-off switch. You can be like, wait, that's the ultimate mastery of the Matrix, is when you can turn it on and off. Thank you, man. I appreciate the dance move callback, because I really spent 15 years out here trying to get better at dancing. Yeah, dude. I don't know. Now I have people watching me and I feel like obligated and invested, but really, I'm not doing anything. I was just yapping. I thought about maybe doing some gaming streams, but I don't know. What's the point if I have to like do this? Hold on. And like hold the Nintendo Switch here. I don't have a PlayStation. I'm too broke. I'm sorry. Please don't judge me, guys. I have actually chores to do. I have a puppy. Well, she's big. She's actually a big puppy. I have to take her or go with her to the vet. What's up?
We're going to go ahead and take Maya to the vet.
Yeah.
And then Mama's going to come back here and get you and go to Walgreens. So that the dogs don't have to sit in the car while we wait at Walgreens.
So we're going to take 2 cars?
Well,
separate times?
Mama and I are going to take the dog to the vet, and we're going to come back, and you and Mama are going to go to Walgreens.
All right, sounds good.
So if you don't mind going down and hanging out with Bear for a little bit, he's going to be sad.
What about Andre's going with you?
Andre's going with us. We got to
Okay.
get Wade.
Yeah, I'll hang out with Bear.
So if you don't mind hanging out with Bear, that'd be awesome.
Sounds good.
All right.
All right, love you. Drive safe.
Okay, we'll see you in a bit.
See ya. I'm not taking the puppy. The puppy is going to have her stitches removed. So she's been sitting for like 11 days in a kennel. She had to be. That's not mean. That's actually, it'd be cruel to let her not, because then she would have her stitches split and she'd bleed. So she's been in the kennel bored and just absolutely out of her mind. She's a massive puppy, a mastiff. So we have to bring her because she's big. But yeah, she's free now. And then it's been raining for me all day. She's gonna go run around with her brother, not her actual brother, but like her pack mate, who I took on a walk today. And then it started raining and pouring down on us. I'm too tired to actually shoot a dance video right now. The dance videos do pull numbers and views and subscribers, but I prefer the silly videos and like old re-uploads, and I want to do more creative and intellectual content, so like storylines and just things that help people. So creative, by creative I mean like you have to put together a project which you're creating and like actually pump out some meaningful videos. Anything that's creative is meaningful. Anything that's meaningful has the potential to be creative, but I mean, any fundamental force of action and consciousness is definitely going to make you create something. You're going to do some sort of ripple effect. So if you're like really pulling the strings and like conducting the orchestra beautifully and majestically, then you're really doing something, and it's high quality. I'd rather do something of high quality than pump out a bunch of YouTube AI shorts, which would probably get me tons of views and not that many subs. But anyway, my point overall was just that it's too overwhelming, and there's not enough time, and there's not enough knowledge and understanding or manpower or cooperation or hope or ability to sift through all of those things for humanity to ascend and transcend. I have an idea. I'm going to make a short film about it. I'm then going to actually try to do the idea and also pump it out to as many people as possible so they can see it before I eventually perish, and hopefully, or unexpectedly, and then everyone can be better off for it. That's the dream. But I also just want to live my fucking normal life, man. It's exhausting. It's stressful. But if you do nothing, that's also stressful because you still got to do something all day. And then you're just like, well, what do I do? You can't literally do nothing. It's fundamentally impossible. Bro, shut up. Why are you fundamentally? So if you just sit around and vape all day and play video games, you're really entertained, but you're still pretty bored. And you have no direction and no aim. I should meditate, man. I should video log or vlog. You could just say vlog like a normal person. All my shit. And do a self-improvement progress channel. Or I could just not. I could just not bother with that. Who knows? What is the ultimate good that a man can do? Friedrich Einstein. It's a quote by Nikola Newton. Fucking stupid. It's dumb. See, I have a to-do list, but I never feel like it's actually done. Like it just, the day just ends. And then you forget what you were doing and then you move on to the next day. I don't know if that's an ADHD thing or what. Any ADHD homies in here, hit me up. Raise your, I don't know. I don't know how to stream. I should probably have a little thing where you can like put your hand up for whatever. But I don't have enough viewers for that anyway, so who really cares? Anyone want to see my supplement stack, dude? Look at this. Oops. Multivitamin. What's this? An antidepressant. Yeah, boy. Broccoli. Something for sleep. Something to make your dopamine go bazinga. Magnesium. Fish oil. I'm really out here. I'm really out here transcending. Okay, I only have 2 viewers now, so I feel less obligated to yap. But I also feel more obligated to my loyal viewers. Oofy McOofertons. I'm going to go for a walk outside and try to do something actually interesting. No, now we have 5 viewers. That's great. Look at this, man. It's real pretty. Don't fucking dox me. I'll eat you. I will literally cannibalize you. Look at that. Pretty. I'm serious. Do not come to my house. This is a threat. No. Anyone here who's chill is chill. I love you. You're great. I wish you the best. But anyway, I'm gonna fucking dip out of here because I've been talking for 45 minutes and I don't really know what I'm doing. But much love to all you guys, and thank you for tuning in. And just have a great day. To be honest, hope whatever you watch next is entertaining as fuck. Well, hold on. Can you hear it? I'm Thanos. Okay. Bye. Much love. See you guys later.